and this brother was saying that there's he said majority of the scholars, which I don't know what he's talking about, but he said that majority of the scholars are saying that the Prophet ﷺ's father and mother are not going to the hellfire, and the dalil that he used was that in the hadith, when the person asked him about his father, where's my father, he's saying that the word used, I think it was Abba or something. He's saying that that could also mean uncle. And then he was saying for the mother that that in the Quran it says that if the message didn't come to them, I don't want to say the Quran ayat wrong. So he's saying, so when I heard that, I was a little bit confused because he said the Jamhur said that. So I was wondering, what does he mean by Jamhur?
First of all, this is wrong. This is all, it's a lie and it's not true. But it's a subject that even as the ulama of Ahl Sunnah, they say, it's not a subject that we talk about a lot. Meaning, I'm not talking about your question, I'm talking about in general, because it hurts a believer that this is the case of the fathers of the Prophet ﷺ. But that's the qadr of Allah. And that's what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala decreed. But yes, is according to, we only follow the text, we follow the wahy from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And for people to twist the words so much to reach something that they decide before the text, that's one of the major differences between Ahl Sunnah and the people of Al-Bid'ah. People of Ahl Sunnah, they don't put principles, and then they look into the evidences to make sure that it fits these principles or the decisions that they already made. The people of Al-Bid'ah, they make decisions first. They say, no way this is going to be the case. So then when the evidences come, oh no, it actually doesn't mean this. Istawa is not istawa, it's istawla. Because they made a decision already before that. So they would twist the nusus. So what is the meaning of Abi? There's no such, yes, if the Arabs sometimes use it in some strange context, it doesn't mean that this is, something like this, the Prophet ﷺ would use ambiguous statements. So, but again, what's the action that is built upon this? Nothing. It's just something that we say, even though it's not something that is pleasant to talk about it a lot, but this is something that people have no evidence to it.
Barakallahu feek. I just have one more question. Sorry about that. Afwan. The same person, he said that when it comes to a da'if hadith, that when it comes to virtues, that we take them as the hadith of Musa alayhi salam when he's asking Allah Azza wa Jalla to teach him something, and he says that if you would put the 7 heavens and the 7 earth besides me and it on one side of the scale, and La ilaha illallah on the other side, La ilaha illallah would outweigh it. So then he tried to say that this can also mean that when someone, the hadith about reading Surah Waqiyah and Surah Yasin, he's saying that we can accept this as well. And when I said that, I thought that this is ibadah, though, to say that, wouldn't that be a bid'ah?
Now, the subject of the weak hadith. First of all, weak hadith to be used in matters of aqidah, of course, this is not permissible. In matters of ahkam rulings, also it does not, no building is to be, or no actions is to be built upon a weak hadith when it comes to ahkam or rulings or actions. The only part or the only subject that the ulama had two differences of opinions in Fadail A'mal, in the virtues, the actions that has the virtue of actions. So a hadith that talks about the virtue of praying Salatul Fajr in the masjid, and it's weak. So some ulama, they said it's not permissible to use it. And the other type of ulama, they said it's permissible with conditions. So if we take the other opinion, it's okay to use it, but with the conditions. What are the conditions? The first one, that the hadith is not very weak. So it's not like something that is fabricated. So we have to know the level of the weakness of it. The second condition is that it's already in its subject, there is authentic hadith that gives the same meaning. So we already have a hadith that talks about the virtue of praying Salatul Fajr in the masjid. So it does not add any action. And the third thing is that a person should not believe that the Prophet ﷺ said it, because it's weak. So he should not act upon that as if he's believing that the Prophet ﷺ said it. So if these three conditions are applied, then the hadith that talks about Fadail A'mal, according to some, it's okay. And the other thing is that when the ulama mention in their books, for example, weak hadith, major a'imma of the deen, even including it and so on, even in matters of fiqh, like in Bulugh al-Maram and others, Al-Hafidh ibn Hajar would have a hadith in there, and it's fiqh matters and it's weak hadith. This is to understand the ways of the ulama, it's important. Because if he made the book only a hadith, one of the reasons is that he would use a weak hadith instead of saying something. So the hadith, its meanings is correct. But instead of saying his words, he would put a hadith that is weak there instead of saying his words. But the outcome is the same. Or might be the hadith might be weak and they would still preserve it. Maybe someone else would authenticate it. So many reasons the ulama would include the weak hadith. But to say that when it comes to Surah Al-Waqi'ah, for example, if the hadith is weak and that an action is built as a result of that, that means we don't act upon a hadith that is weak. But to add to this, also one thing, if someone, he likes to recite Surah Al-Waqi'ah every day, go ahead and do so. No problem whatsoever in reciting Surah Al-Waqi'ah every day. But if you apply the three conditions, don't believe that the Prophet ﷺ said that. And therefore, you just do it because you love the surah. So whether it's Surah Al-Waqi'ah or Surah Al-Zumar or Surah Al-Jathiyah, and you keep on reciting it every day, it's not bid'ah, it's a good thing. Unless you prescribe it to others. If you read Surah Al-Jathiyah every day, you will get this. Where did you come up with this? This is a matter of unseen.